impossible things in the world of business.
Wow.
And yesterday, the church celebrated him.
Assemblies of God.
Ghana celebrated him.
I tell you.
And they came in their numbers.
He was born on 5th March.
Yeah.
He epitomizes everything good about Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes. So as he prospers, Ghana will prosper.
Yeah, Ghana will prosper.
He's the type of Ghanaian we like.
Thank you.
Powerful guy.
Yeah. He's extended his blessings to all of us here at Citi FM.
Wow.
And the whole of Ghana.
Wow.
And let me also celebrate Mrs. Kutoche.
Yes,
who was by him yesterday.
We have to do that.
Very important.
We have to do that one. No, you hear of us on the show.
Yeah,
We have a few minutes, 20 minutes to get into the newspaper review. So Sky has Graphic and Times.
Bernard, so we have the big story on the Graphic front page saying this morning, our unity worth celebrating.
Okay.
Professor Nana SKB Asante.
He's a big man.
Touts nation's credentials, and you see him here sitting in a big chair.
Yes.
And telling us what we must do with our unit. Yes. And then, Bernard, also we are told that let's maintain our reputation. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, is speaking here, and there's a huge photograph of the Kumasi Central Mosque, which he opened a couple of days ago. Also on the front page, we are told to host Independence Day Parade today, and over 5,000 expected.
Going to be big.
And then we need strong support from partners. So Foriata to the Chinese delegation who have been in Ghana trying to help us secure some relief in terms of debt. And a Achu's funeral fixed for March the 7th.
Let's get into the Ghanaian Times. What do they have for us this morning?
The Ghanaian Times says this morning, Independence Day Awards. President honors 72 students for excelling in 2021-2022 BECE. Also on the front page, 28 Ghana Water Company Limited customers in court for non-payment of 327,579 Ghana cedis in bails.
Okay.
Also, no LGBTQI plus in education curriculum, according to NACA. And Achu be laid to rest on March the 17th. And finally, we are 66 years.
There you go online, citinewsroom.com. Heritage Caravan 2023. Patrons receive royal reception at Bonire. Beautiful picture of the EU ambassador being welcomed by the Bonire man Hene.
Okay.
Also, apologize to Volta region before Independence Day celebration. NDC to Akufo-Addo. Meanwhile, Mahama says use Independence Day cash to buy vaccines for children. There's a serious story with vaccines that we'll be bringing to you as well. In other stories, interest on treasury bills for last 3 months hits 4.4 billion cedis. Hey! And then Dufour's team says Frenzy Mahama's campaign may not translate into votes.
Wow.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves. He says a few other stories on the website. Health Minister to brief Parliament on vaccine shortage on March 7. And then Hajj pilgrims to pay 75,000 cedis this year. And then, of course, Christian Achu's 1 week observation held in Accra. There are photos there. Our Citi Newsroom. Major Online, over 100 measles cases recorded in northern Ghana as babies' vaccines shortage bites. Also, cancel Independence Day. Use funds to solve babies' vaccine shortage. Dr. Anaba tells government. Quite a number of people have said this. I think I heard former Chief Justice talk about using the money to build a hospital. Mahama says use it to buy vaccines. Dr. Anaba is saying the same thing. Meanwhile, we will address arrears as part of external debt restructuring. Then, in the sad story, Professor Michael Quay's wife passes on. Yeah, I think she was a major in the army. Yeah, yes, indeed. So those are the stories on. If you go to myjournal.com, City Sports, Phobias win 2023 President's Cup.
Yeah, Phobia.
And we move above Asante Kotoko into 4th place.
Yes.
Also, 7 heaven for Liverpool as they trash Man United. Yes. After they said 7-up drinks.
You know,
for the man you supporters to drink.
For some reason, I can't see also for Maoli around. He's been taunting Chelsea and Liverpool over the past 2 months. Just because they have been managing to score a few goals.
Godfred was supposed to be here. When we called him, his phone could not be reached. A few international stories. China boosts military budget and warns of threats. So the whole thing becomes one way. Bangladesh investigates major blaze in refugee camp. Let's get into the details of the story.
Okay, Bernard, all the roads in Ghana are leading to Ho this very morning. We are going to celebrate our Independence Day in Ho, the regional capital of the Volta region. And the Daily Graphic has that story on page 13. Samuel Dudu says this morning that the country is set to pull off one of its biggest national celebrations, the Independence Day parade, to be held in the Volta regional capital, Ho. Now, the day marks exactly 66 years Ghana attained independence from British colonial rule. Now, on parade at the Volta Regional Youth Resource Center located at Adaklu, Cherefe, near whom will be 64 officers and 1,042 men from the various security agencies, contingents from 7 senior high schools and basic schools in the whole municipality and Adaklu district, and representatives of voluntary organizations. Now, more than 5,000 people from various parts of the country are expected at the anniversary celebration, which will be graced by the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And it goes on to provide further details on this particular story.
There's a number of reactions to the Independence Day celebration. For example, use Independence Day cash to buy vaccines for children. Former President John Mahama has urged the president to sacrifice funds being used to organize this year's Independence Day celebration to fix the shortage of child vaccines that has hit the country. John Mahama, who was speaking during an interaction with National Democratic Congress Party delegates in Bepe, in the Northern constituency in the Volta region, on Saturday, said he was left worried when he read about the vaccine shortage in the media. He's not the only person who said this. There's another one here where Dr. Anaba, I'll give you who the person is in a second, is also asking the same thing. Council Independence, they use funds to solve babies' vaccine shortage. This is on Journal Line. Secretary of the Africa Center for Health Policy Research and Analysis, Dr. Thomas Anaba, is baffled by the fact that the government is embarking on celebratory activities while babies are under threat due to a vaccine shortage. The drastic shortage of vaccines that are meant to be administered to children at infancy to protect them from certain diseases is getting alarming.
We have been rotating this thing around the region. Come to Volta region.
Oh, I don't think this, because
they are building roads. They are using this thing to develop the sports center and all of these things.
I think
so. There's some development going on in the Volta region.
I think that the attribution is unfair, because the point about the Independence Day, this is a very tough economic time.
Yes, I agree.
And these are times where people are being given haircuts. There isn't money to do much. And then you are in the middle of a measles crisis.
Yes.
So I'm not sure the calls to postpone independence is related in any way to the region. And I think that you should, honestly, you should not even go there. You should not even go there. There are different, for example, Dr. Sofa Akufu is saying, instead of using money to do a celebration, spend the money to build some hospital somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's not because it's going to the region. I think it's a complete overstretch, honestly.
I'm not saying that's what they are saying, though. I'm just saying that we have been rotating. Of course, there have always been these problems in the country. We get our own small...
No.
Okay, but let me go to some other story.
Over 100 measles cases recorded in northern Ghana as baby vaccine shortage bites. I want to bring you that story just to buffet the point I was making.
Okay.
Over 100 children in the northern part of the Ghana are suspected to have contracted measles.
Okay.
This is according to President-elect of the Pediatric Society of Ghana, Dr. Hilda Mantebia Boy. The figures come amid the shortage of baby vaccines nationwide. Ghana ran out of essential BCG and OPV vaccines as a result of the Ministry of Health failure to secure procurement of these vaccines since the year began. Now, the BCG vaccine is primarily needed to prevent the occurrence of tuberculosis in babies, while the OPV is to prevent polio infections. Other essential vaccines to prevent diseases such as measles, whooping cough are also in short supply.
That's serious.
Now, Dr. Matebia Boy told Joy News Probe that the cases are likely to increase if an intervention is not carried out immediately. At the last count in the northern region, we have more than 100 children who we suspect have measles, and this is very worrying for the society.
We spoke to Dr. or Professor Kumabuaji 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago.
It was just last week.
Was it last week? So he gave us 3 weeks. He said the problem will be resolved
in 3 weeks. And no, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So we have one more week.
He said 2-3 weeks. And I asked him, what does he mean by 2-3 weeks? And he said it was something to do with exchange rate issues.
That's right.
Now, Parliament is also expecting the minister to appear and answer questions. I don't know if you have that story.
No, I have something related to the Independence Day celebration. And our unity worth celebrating, Professor Nana SKB Asante reported here on the front page of the graphic by Emmanuel Ebo Hodgson. And the story says the constitutional expert and statesman, Professor Nana Susubrebi Krobia Boateng SKB Asante has touted the country's unity after 66 years of independence. Now, speaking in an exclusive interview with the Daily Graphic, he said the unity of the country was worth celebrating, especially as other countries had failed to achieve that after many years of existence. And then he goes on to provide some better context to this particular story. But Bernard, there's also another story which is also related to nation building. For instance, if you go to page 13, the Vice President of the Republic.
This is graphic, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Kumasi Central Mosque.
Exactly. Let's maintain our reputation, Vice President. Now, Kojo Bafo Donko, reporting from Kumasi, says that the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has called on Ghanaians to jealously guard the country's reputation as a haven of peace and religious tolerance. Now, he said, unlike most countries in West Africa and parts of the world where Christians and Muslims had been, Christians and Muslims had been coexisting peacefully among themselves over the years. Now, he said, therefore, he's actually asking Ghanaians, therefore, to maintain the peace and continue with that particular reputation. He was actually opening the Kumasi Central Mosque in the...
All right, let me give you a couple of stories that I know you would be interested in. CitiNewsroom.com. Heritage Caravan patrons thrilled at Amejope Canopy Walkway.
Yes!
Head to Royal St. So this was on Saturday into Sunday. Day one of the City TV, City FM Heritage Caravan was filled with breathtaking moments after patrons embarked on a thrilling mountain hike to the Amejope Canopy Walkway in the Volta region. This was the first stop for patrons for the caravan after they set off from our premises in Tesano. Now, prior to setting off to the Volta region, patrons were treated to some good breakfast and electrifying music from God's Gift Brass Band. They then continued to the Ashanti region, where they held a Kente festival at Bonyure. The EU ambassador was a guest of honor, and they were heartily received by the Bonyure man Nana Bobie. Now, the Caravanites spent day 2 in the region, where they were also feted, and then they managed to interact with the people of Bonyure. As we speak, the caravan is on its way to the Upper East regional capital of Boliga, Tanga. And this is day 3.
And they will go there and chop some suya.
I'm telling you.
Yes, there is some suya on the border between, what do you call it, Burkina and
we will touch base with them shortly.
They should bring some of the suya. That even reminds me, Charlie, where is Kilishi? You know Kilishi? Kilishi and Dambu Nama. These are... they are of Nigerian.
These days you are talking food. You are talking millet.
Charlie.
Like are you doing some special course in nutrition and dietetics or something?
Yeah, I'm thinking of
you are talking food these days.
Yeah, if they are Nigerian friends in the country and they know where I can get Kilishi and Dambu Nama, they should let me know.
Kilishi and Dambu Nama.
Yes.
I didn't know what that is.
Charlie, be brutal.
All right.
Okay, Bernard, let me take you to another story that is related to our celebrations before I take you to something else, because we're told the president has honored 72 students for excelling in the 2021-2022 BCE.
Okay.
That story is on page 12 of the Ghanaian Times, although it is announced on the front page. And the story says that a total of 72 students who excelled in the 2021-2022 Basic Education Certificate Examination were on Friday awarded certificates of honor by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now, the awards dubbed the President's Independence Day Awards was instituted in 1993 and has been rewarding young and brilliant students between the ages of 14 and 19 from all the regions of the country. Now, the awardees were selected based on their exceptional academic performance in the BCE. Now, speaking at this year's event, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president, impressed on Ghanaian students to uphold high moral values in educational.
Let me take you to a story from the Christ Apostolic Church. Apostle Samuel Ampon Safrimpong has been elected as chairman of the church. A 7-man executive council of the CHC International has been inducted or elected into office at a contest organized at the headquarters of the church in Osu in Accra. It is led by Chairman-elect Apostle Samuel Amponsa Frimpong, with Apostle Samuel Adai Kusi as General Secretary-elect. The Chairman-elect polls 676 votes out of total of 1,084 to succeed the outgoing Chairman, Apostle George Yabwa. And then the other executives are also named as Reverend Augustine Ekuban. Apostle Samuel Adai Kusi, until his position, was the missions director of the church. And then we have Reverend Samuel Peli Mensa, and then Apostle George Peter Derry, Apostle Prosper Agbagblo, and Reverend Asumadu Chireme. They are all part of the executive. So we welcome them into the fold. And then Professor Ayete builds a 4-bedroom house for Sesiamang Sisi DA Basic School.
Is that a former...
No, this is the chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, assuming Professor Jonathan Na Ayete. He's built a 4-bedroom house with modern facilities for teachers for his alma mater, Sesiamang Sisi DA Basic School.
That's beautiful.
This, according to him, is part of his contribution to the community and the school, which nurtured him for him to become a professor. Speaking at the commission, the prof recounted how the community and the school shaped him to become who he is. Can you imagine?
That's beautiful.
You know, very well done.
Yeah, Bernard, but let me take you to some stories related to crime quickly before we go. Ghanaian Times page 3 normally features stories related to crime. We're told 28 GWCL customers in court for non-payment of some 300,000 Ghana cedis in bills. Now, a Times reporter says this morning that Ghana Water Company Limited in the Western region has taken 28 defaulting customers in the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis, Sekondi actually, to court for failing to pay water bills totaling some 327,579.39 Ghana cedis. Now, the defaulters included hotels, government institutions, transport companies, private individuals, and residential customers. And it goes on to provide further details. Also, we're told that 250 motorcycle riders have been arrested for traffic offenses. Now, the police has arrested at least 250 motorcycle riders for jumping red lights at traffic intersections and engaging in other traffic offenses to bring sanity to Accra. It formed part of the police action against rider indiscipline program, which is the PARI program. And you know, you see them at the intersection. So right out there,
you mess around
Motoguzi, you know Motoguzi.
Now, let me give you this sad story. Professor Michael Kwe loses his wife. This is on my journal. Wife of former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Onukwe, has lost his wife, Major retired Albert Adra Boatema Okwe, died in the early hours of Saturday, March 5. Her son, CEO of Free Zones Board, Ambassador Michael Kwe Jr., announces on his Facebook page, and he says he requests for prayers for their almost 79-year-old dad, himself, and the rest of the family. Now, the late Mrs. Okwe was a retired nursing officer at the 37 Military Hospital in Accra. May her soul rest in peace. May the family find peace in this difficult time. Let's take you global quickly. China is boosting its military budget while warning of escalating threats. This is BBC reporting that China will increase military spending by more than 70% this year while warning of escalating threats. It announced this at the People's National Congress, a rubber stamp parliament, which is due to confirm President Xi Jinping's third bid. The BBC, why are you calling them a rubber stamp parliament? It's the parliament. What's your problem? Now, the other point I wanted to give you was that Hearts of Oak have won the 2023 President's Cup. And now we have moved above Asante Kotoko to third place. And we are looking for Godfrey. We can't find him. That's the problem with the money. He has disappeared.
7 up. 7.
Tell me about Christian Achu finally.
Yeah, Christian Achu's funeral has been fixed for March the 17th. And the details are on page 26 of the Daily Graphic. Morris Kwanzaa, a good friend, writing, says the final funeral rites of the former Black Stars player, Christian Achu, will be held at the forecourt of the State House in Accra on Friday, the 17th day of March 2023, in a ceremony expected to be graced by many high-profile dignitaries led by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
All right, thank you, Richard.
You can get a copy of the paper and read further.
Coming up next is the City Business News. Stay with us.
You know your papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies DA improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman Mane. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
All right. Citi Business News Net brought to you by MTN. If you're Ghanaian and proud and preparing to celebrate our beloved independence, MTN wants to make the day even more special. For a limited time only, we're offering you 2.5 gig of data for just 10 cedis. Yes, 10 cedis, you get 2.5 gig to do all the things you love. So stay connected with friends and loved ones, stream your favorite music, share your festive moments online. Don't miss out on this amazing offer. Let's celebrate Ghana's Independence Day in style with MTN. News also brought to us by Gore, your OMC of choice. We keep making life ever so convenient. We now accept Momo for all fuel purchases. Just remember to Momo it at Goel. Drive to the nearest Goel station now, buy your fuel and pay by Momo, bank card or Go card. Goel, good energy. Go, yeah, here, dear. Michael Obodu's here with the Citi Business News. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goal and powered by a most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. Coming up, textiles manufacturers call for enforcement of tax stamps to rid markets of fake products. Also, Ghana Cocoa Board reiterates commitment towards increasing consumption per capita of cocoa and chocolate products in the country. My name is Michael Obodu, and to details of our stories now, textiles industry players in the country are calling on the government to fully enforce the Ghana Textile Stamp Program to rid the market of counterfeits and protect local businesses. The program was launched last year through a collaboration between the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ghana Revenue Authority. It required that dealers in textiles affix stamps to their products to certify the legitimacy of the textiles produced in, imported into, and retailed in Ghana. Speaking to Citi Business News, Managing Director of Textiles Ghana Limited, Fatuma Tudoro, believes that the implementation of the policy will help eliminate unfair competition for indigenous businesses.
The stamp that we are discussing with the government is the key fundamental things to help us, but not just putting the tax stamp on our fabric, it's putting it and enforcing it, which means that when you are putting the tax stamp on every single fabric, we need to get a team from maybe GRA and also the textile industry going in the trade and finding brands that are not really, who do not have the tax stamp or which are copy and taking them out of the market. This is the only solution. You need to have measure to show that Ghana is a market that do not accept copies and only accept, not even copies, but only accept legal business. When you do that, then it's a fair competition. We don't mind competition. We just want fair. Will be able to pull this off realistically? Well, that would be difficult for me to take a judgment on that. What I know is for sure, since we have started that discussion, the launch of the tax stamp is supposed to happen next month. Next month is supposed to happen. And we have also purchased the tax stamp. We have started putting the tax stamp on our fabric. Now the next step is we are waiting to see from the government what are the measures to enforce it.
Managing Director of Textiles Ghana Limited, Fatuma Tudoro. Now, the Ghana Cocoa Board is pushing for the necessary support to facilitate and ensure policies introduced to increase the consumption of cocoa products are realized. The country's average consumption of cocoa and chocolate products has increased significantly from an average of 0.5 kilogram to 1 kilogram per capita. However, many believe more can be done. Chairman of the Board for the Promotion of Cocoa Consumption, Stephen Fifi Boafo, believes this will promote and help develop the industry.
The National Chocolate Week has shown us one very important lesson. Working with other state institutions, we are able to harness the human resource and then also the support of other state institutions to achieve results. Why do we go on chocolate? We go on tea break in Ghana and not chocolate break. Why don't we serve chocolate drink as a welcome drink at our hospitality centers? Why is it not mandatory or part of our culture to give chocolate as a gift to people visiting